I really, really feel for parents. These last couple of weeks, I've been having a conversation with a bunch of older people, and I mean, they're all parents and whatnot. I am African, as y'all know, or if you don't know, I'm Nigerian, and I really feel for the immigrant parent. As you hear the stories of our parents, as you hear the stories of our grandparents, no, actually, it doesn't matter, immigrant parent or not, I can speak from my perspective of immigrant child and talking about my parents, but everybody's parents suffer and go through all this just to make sacrifices for us. Even if your parents are rich, if your parents are rich, even if your parents are rich, poor, your parents still have to make sacrifices so that you can so you can get to whatever you are, provide, or they can provide what they're providing for you. Yeah. The more I talk to parents, the more I talk to grandparents, the more I talk to parent, late parent, not late parents, like, I guess late would mean that they're dead. No. People whose parents who have had their children die and whatnot. Oh, God. I feel for parents, man. I talked to this guy and he was saying that children will disappoint you, but that's not a bad thing. It's like you have these expectations. Let me quote what he was saying. He was saying that you have these expectations for them, and you're gonna raise them up right, and you do all the right things and whatnot, and they still don't end up well. Dog, I feel for parents because I think even if you're a good parent or a bad parent, you still lose in some aspects, because kids are not perfect. Kids are their own individuals, and I think everybody has their own universe, right? There's stuff. This puts information in my universe. This puts information in my universe. Food puts information in my universe, and you can't control what information kids get into your kids' universes. These child lock stuff. Protecting the car. You could put like child blockers on your phone and whatnot to this and that, but you don't know. You could watch a show and there's words that just hit them like a brick and creates them into something else. Music, school, their environment. You could put them in a bubble the whole life, and I don't even think that's love. But I really, really do feel for parents because, for example, my parents, they're amazing. When I was younger, may have not always thought that. But I think as you grow older, you appreciate the sacrifices. And yeah, something I something I think about when it comes to my parents is like that hunger and tenacity. Um, Speaking for immigrant parents and speaking from my experience, my parents came from a continent to a whole different continent where they speak the language, but they don't speak the language. The American English is completely different than the British English. We say trousers, y'all say pants. We spell words with a OU, they spell words with a O. Maybe even remove the OU a lot of the time. Yeah, there's so many different things and dressing and words and culture that's a little bit different. Maybe it's the capitalism, maybe it's the grind, maybe it's the quickness of it all. It feels different, and it is different. I think we leave these rich villages, but in all honesty, as you talk to your parents, you realize how poor their villages are. And I'm not talking about in wealth. Their villages may have been poor in wealth, but they were rich in community. And even that community that you hear from, you'd be like, God forbid I go through that. But even that is its own beauty and the traditions and whatnot. I feel for parents because they don't have it all. They don't have it all put together, and it's not like they're telling you that they do, but they know that they have to put up a brave face. Because what do you mean dad is upset and crying about this situation? What do you mean that mom is crying about the situation? I think they should and they will. But even then, there's only so much that you can. It's like, it's like why do people just always say good? Like, how are you doing? I'm doing good. I'm fine. When deep down they're suffering. How are you doing? I'm doing good. My face is swollen and like I'm just feeling constant pain. How are you doing? I'm doing good. You ask your parents, how are you doing? I'm doing good. Have you eaten? They have not eaten. Have you? They have not. and they'll say yes just for you to be happy. Um, man, as I think about my parents more and more, I just appreciate the sacrifices. I used to hate shopping at Aldi's because it reminds me of the times where my mom used to, when my mom. I also hate blood drives, or hated it, because it reminds me of the time when my mom used to donate her blood, and then she would use that money for groceries and whatnot. And I just associated Aldi's with that. It's still hard when I see Aldi sometimes. I think my dad has told me in the past about growing up they were poor, so they ate yam a lot. Like dad does not like yam. I mean, he'll eat it, but he doesn't like it. I also don't like yam. I just don't think it tastes good. Maybe I heard the taste buds of I don't like because of poverty. I'm gonna shop at Aldi's. I'm gonna take my kids to Aldi's. Not I don't think Aldi's is bad. I think German store. They're very ethical about what procurements they allow into their store and the ingredients. So I really appreciate that. I feel for parents so much because the burden on you is heavy. I feel for parents so much because the destiny and the future, the destiny of your generation and your legacy lays in the hands of us, and we will mess up and we will disappoint you. And not even that sounds all negative. Like there's beauty in having kids. I'm not trying to say like kids are sucky. Kids are amazing. What? Your kids get to stand on the shoulders of giants as you give them a better life that you had, and they do the same thing for their next generation. But not even just you have them as like an accomplishment, but they're not just a gift to the world, but they're a gift to you, and they're beautiful, they are precious, they shine brighter than any star. Every night I've been coming home, and I'm pretty lucky that I live in the middle of nowhere, that I can just look at the stars. And kids are freaking stars. And junior year, I took physics one, AP Physics one, and Mr. McConaughey, the GOAT, that's why I love physics, was telling us like there's enough potential energy in us humans to blow up half the Earth. The potential of a kid is so great. The potential of a human is so great. And the thing about children is like that purest curiosity, that wow. Like people say kids are not evil, but kids are messed up. Like they're a product of their environment. But we're all a little messed up. We're not perfect. We're all human. Even then, I don't think we ever stop being kids, but we're given responsibilities, and that's why I feel for parents, because they're still that inner kid, but they have to suppress certain parts of that inner kid because they have to provide for us. They have to. They don't have to. I think they have to. But they also choose and willingly make these sacrifices. I think that's what love is. Love is constantly being selfless to make sacrifices for the people you love, for the betterment. It's the constant compromising. It's the constant. I don't know. I'm 21. I'm not married or anything. I'm still figuring it out. But from the examples I see from my parents, my uncles, my friends, the people I love so dearly, I feel for parents. I guess as I hear myself speak out loud, I don't just feel for parents, I feel for humans. I feel for all of us, because you look back at pictures of yourself at 8 years old and you look at pictures of yourself at 20, it's like, whoa. Not even because like, whoa, but like, I've grown so much. The world gives you responsibilities and they should make you grow up. I think my dad used to tell me, I think he hasn't said this in a while, but when I was a child, I acted like a child. Now I'm a man. I act like a man. I think there's the responsibilities of a child is different than the responsibilities of an adult, and it's so different. As I'm becoming who I'm meant to be and whatnot, I'm seeing so much more. I don't even have real responsibilities yet. I do, but I really don't. Like, I mean, I have to pay this, I have to pay that, but like, it's not anything like crazy yet for it to like feel heavy. But then like the weight of a parent is so, God, you have the bills. I mean, I feel for men. I'm pretty sure the stats or something, the analytics of this channel is like a bunch of guys. I feel for you guys, dog. I don't know what pressures you feel. I don't know what struggles you face in your minds and your heads, but dog, I feel for you. I don't know what pressures you put yourself on. I don't know what the world has told you about who you are, but I'm always going to tell you I love you. And I'm going to tell you you're loved. And I'm going to tell you that your identity doesn't just come from what you provide, even though in a way it does. But I also want to say that, like, when a man is doing purposeful work, he will find pleasure. And when we find pleasure and when we have stuff to fill up our heart, that's what happens. That's what matters. My friend Mankins loves to say, we all have a God-shaped hole in our heart. We try to fill it up with man-shaped things, but it will never fill us up. That purposeful thing is the God-shaped thing that we need to fill up ourselves with, which is also Christ, which is also generosity with what Christ is giving us for his kingdom. But, not even but, and yeah. I feel for parents not as a pity, not even sympathy. It's a mix of empathy, it's a mix of sadness, but it's a mix of joy. It's all these emotions and melancholy, because I think one of the hardest things you can be is a person. And what I mean by that is a person is someone who's intentional with their lives and what they're doing. But even so harder is a parent. Oh my God, I think it's hard to, I think the three things are, maybe four things that really matter in life are to know God. Another really important decision is who you marry. Another really, really difficult decision is how you raise your kids. And among that, this is not in order or anything like that, probably before the wife and kids and stuff like that, is what is my purpose? What am I meant to be doing? What meaningful work? My friend likes to say, when a man finds his meaningful work, he will stride and he will run for. But the journey to find that meaningful work and find that thing is so hard, because we have bills and responsibilities. Like, I think of rappers, I think of artists. I don't know if that's their meaningful work, but I guess because the world praises it, it shows that it is in a way, right? I don't know. I don't think I think life, we figure it out as we look back. I'm gonna pull up my iPad because I need to find that. Oh wait, I can pull up my phone and I can find the Steve Jobs quote. One of my favorite quotes I've heard in the last couple of weeks is this quote right here. You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your God, destiny, life, karma, God, whatever. Steve Jobs. And I feel for parents but I also have apathy and love and respect for parents, because they have to trust that the things that developed in them in their childhood, the things that happen to them, they happen for them. I feel for you, because the things that happen to you, they happen for you to somehow become who you're meant to be. I'm gonna read that Steve Jobs quote one more time. But it says, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them by looking backwards. You have to trust the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma. I add God in there. God, whatever, Steve Jobs. I think as we go forward, I mean, a lot of us think we know what we're going to do in life. We have these plans and whatnot, and other things happen, which is life. And sometimes your plans do happen. Like, I plan to do X, Y, Z. That plan happened. But even then, you have to trust that these things are all building. I probably repeat the word becoming a lot and nuance a lot, and I'm gonna make a video about this, about my opinions on the word nuance. But yeah, it may not make sense as you're going forward, but I hope and pray it makes sense as you look back. I don't think all sacrifices are worth it, and I think that's for the individual. But even then, I hope you look, like, I think for some reason as a culture, we look at like construction workers, we look at homeless people, we look at certain things, and so it's all about decisions. Mr. Blackwell, if you ever watch any of these videos, dog, decisions, choices. Lord, I just pray that you help us become who we're meant to become, and I hope that we take the decisions and take steps that you guide us, and Lord, that you bring the right people, because we are going to try to guard ourselves, but Lord, I pray you bring the right people to smack some sense into us and guide us. Jeremiah 3 verse 15 says, I will send you a shepherd after my own heart who will guide you in wisdom and understanding. So God, I pray that for all of us. And God, I pray that we become amazing parents. My parents are the best, and your parents are the best. Even if they suck, they showed you what to do and what not to do. That's it. Even if your parents sucked, even if your dad is a dickhead and your mom is a dickhead, they showed you what to do and what not to do. And I think to be a parent is probably one of the greatest gifts of the universe. To be a human is probably one of the greatest gifts of the universe. I could probably talk for hours, so I'm going to end it here.